Recently, Jill Winzowski, a reporter in Manitoba from the Selkirk Record, was fired after federal MP James Bezin complained about her reporting on the Harper government. When Jim Mosher, a reporter from the Enterprise, another paper from Manitoba, wrote about the incident, his article was pulled from publication. Their story of political and corporate interference in news reporting was only made known to Canadians through independent media. Mainstream media instead covered the most recent series of layoffs in their industry, this time at Sun Media Corp, where 500 jobs, or 8.8% of the news unit's workforce, are disappearing. Meanwhile, the propagandistic right-wing Fox News wannabe Sun News Network, apparently unable to make it in the open marketplace, is asking the CRTC to make it part of the mandatory package of TV cable providers. Or as the Globe and Mail put it, shoved down our throats. There is clearly trouble in mainstream news reporting, and it's not just in print media. Television news is just as bad. Just survey any flagship program and you will find more news missing than presented, with each network echoing the other as if no independence exists at all. Not to pick on global national news, it could have been anybody. But while Israel's latest attack on Gaza was beginning, an American sex scandal was their lead story, which is the equivalent of feeding you this. Their second story was about snow in Canada in mid-November, which is the equivalent of feeding you this. Until the morning of November 15th, if you wanted information about the ongoing Israeli-Gaza conflict, you had to be online, first on Twitter, and then following hashtags to information providers. The Israel Defense Forces had their hashtag, Pillar of Defense, and news from or about Gaza had Gaza under attack. The top tweet from Pillar of Defense was the IDF strike on Ahmed Jabari. The top tweet from Gaza under attack was from a Californian grad student expressing embarrassment for being an American and asking how we can sit and watch civilians being murdered. British citizen Harry Fear was up all night as the conflict escalated on November 14th, with a live stream from his apartment in Gaza giving viewers moment-by-moment updates. It was dramatic stuff, as his building shook from the Israeli bombs dropping on the city. He declined sanctuary with the British consulate in Gaza, and he's online still, providing updates as they come in from around Gaza, as I produce this video on the day of November 15th. Meanwhile, this morning's newspapers in Canada repeated each other with the headlines about 3 killed in Israel. Gaza casualties are buried inside the story. No mainstream news organization is providing the coverage that you can find online from either side of the conflict. You have to ask yourself why. And then you have to ask yourself why you give these news groups your money and attention. No wonder our media in Canada is in financial trouble. There's something in the air tonight, but if you want the news, mainstream media is no longer the source for it. The state of news has become the news of the state.